Hey, my name is Amy Fox, and I am the CEO and co-founder of Work in Progress Texas. And it has been a minute since I have posted something on YouTube. I used to do that about a year ago, and I had to take, in a sense, this little bit of a sabbatical and reset. And so I thought that I would just kind of give a little quick background. If this is your first interaction with me, I assume maybe we've connected on Instagram. That's kind of where I hang out the most. But I didn't want to I'm not trying to like bait and switch you with the title here, okay? Because the reality is, yes, I lost 20 pounds in a year without dieting, and I want to speak to that, but also kind of give a little bit of a background on Work in Progress Texas, my coaching, and just some history on me. Because if you're new, this will help you get to know me just a little bit more. I don't have any fancy equipment or editing skills. I'm a one-woman show, and so I get on here and I show up and I do the best I can as a coach and also the best I can with marketing. And so I just figure I like to get to the point. I like to teach. I like to interact and meet new people. And this is another way to kind of do that. So just some background on me. I still have a day job. Basically, for the last 20 years, I've been between healthcare positions, whether I've been in the office running a LASIK practice, working for patient financing, or now I'm in patient technology. And so I've always had a day job, but my true passion is health coaching. And so I started health coaching and getting certifications in 2017. And my first job kind of around the coaching world as I was getting my certifications was with Beachbody. So I kind of got exposed to the group coaching environment and really started to get some experience under my belt, even though we were talking about Shakeology and we were selling packages. And that model just never really jived with me. And good thing, because it's changed now anyways, which lots of these MLMs have. And through that journey, though, I met some amazing women. I had some transformations myself. And just a quick background on David and myself. David's my husband, and he's also our certified personal trainer. When we first got together, we started eating and drinking whatever we wanted. We were in a really stressful season. We've moved a lot. We've had so many ups and downs, loss in the family. We've moved over 10 times. One of those was a big move in 2019 from Oregon to Texas. And really just kind of like in that time of my life, like we just didn't take care of ourselves. And we knew that we needed to take control of that sooner than later, because if we didn't, it was going to be a problem long term. But what happened was we both gained about 40 to 50 pounds each within a year. And also that meant that on our wedding day, we didn't like the way that we looked. So we don't even have wedding photos up at this point because we still didn't like the pictures or liked our appearance. But that was kind of when the shift happened where we needed to make a change and we needed to take control of our health. And because I had an interest in health and wellness, and sorry if you're hearing Tucker's paws walking around, but I had an interest in health and wellness because as I had an outside sales job, I really gravitated towards health and wellness podcasts. I was listening to podcasts, I was reading books, I was absorbing all of the information. And ever since I started my certification journey in health coaching, I've continued to regularly study and research and read things because it's something I just naturally gravitate to. So truly there is this deep desire at some point for this to be a full-time job. And I think part of my limitations has been my own limiting belief that that's even possible. So you have to build this dream while you're still working a day job, taking care of your relationships, your families, your own well-being. But through that journey, I knew that as a health coach, I wanted to be the best I could be for my clients, as well as being an example, kind of also in a sense held me accountable to my goals. So in that journey of like Beachbody, trial and error, I joined First Form too, which kind of seemed like a similar setup. And I wanted more independence. And so in 2021, David and I actually went all in together and launched Work in Progress Texas, our LLC. And the goal at the time was kind of like, how do we merge this passion that we both enjoy together and grow a business with it? And first, we started kind of working with couples because we knew that as a couple, when we were on the same page, that's when we became most successful. And I do believe that if you don't have a supportive partner, that can absolutely impact your progress. So it's hard to have to be the one that's tough with all of that stuff. And so also Macy's sorry, again, not going to get any editing, but I'm trying to keep the dogs in here because there's chickens outside and deers outside. So I thought that would be better than barking. So of course she's choosing to chew her nail. Stop it. But hopefully that's not distracting. I apologize. ADD. There's always moments where you try to come on here when you have a moment and dogs or something distracts something. So anyways, as we were growing our business together, really, David, we were building a house too in this time frame on some property. And so we were dealing with lots of stressors with a custom build, living in a rental, odds and ends that happened. I dealt with being laid off. I had trials and tribulations that came through, all the things, right? And really, when we got settled into our new place, David kind of really doesn't have that drive to be online. He's on computer all day at his job. The last thing he wanted to do was be on the computer while he's, trying to grow a business or whatever. So as we got settled into our new place, his passion really became back to playing music again. He played live music in bars, restaurants, and really kind of wanted to grow that again. And now it's really taken off. He's gotten a lot of opportunities. And so that has been something where he kind of pivoted his passion. So that kind of, he's still our lead personal trainer, et cetera, our advisory. He's got a medical background too, so that helps with with our patients. And basically that was it was a good thing actually for us to actually doing the business together was kind of challenging. There were things where I had studied more and done things differently. And now I have the say, right? Now I have more control, which is a little bit better. It's better. I think any partners out there, spouses, you can understand. So in 2024, really kind of had to take a step back and reassess, what do I want out of this? Because I almost gave up. Like, it's that hard. It's that hard to be an entrepreneur. It's that hard to be a health coach and like trying to get attention on your account and find your next client. And when you do, it's like the best thing ever, but it's truly, truly challenging. So 2024 was a pivotal point. So why do I say like, hey, I lost 20 pounds in a year without, dieting, without extreme diets. And what happened was in 2023, that was a major shift in my life. For me, I had two instances throughout that year that caused me to reflect on some of my choices. And what I discovered was probably from age 33 on, alcohol became a very prominent thing in my life. It became a part of my activities. It became a part of my stress reliever, even though it does the absolute opposite. It became my, social lubricant to kind of like, as an introvert, get out in public. And I was always chasing a buzz. And if I didn't get the buzz, it wasn't worth the calories. And if I didn't get the buzz, I'd keep chasing the buzz, which also turned into a hangover. And I have had way more hangovers than I like to admit to. And the two kind of moments in 2023 were at the beginning of the year when we went to the rodeo. We took some friends who were visiting from out of town. And the next day after the rodeo, we were like, oh, let's go to Six Flags. That'd be super fun. I don't have anyone who wants to go on roller coasters with me. And so we had that plan. We go to the rodeo and I start basically binge drinking. I think there's some level of insecurity. There's some frustration. I don't know, I don't know what I did. It was like, I'm here with my friends. Why am I doing that or choosing to do that? And I had a really, really bad hangover the next day. And so I was not able to take my friends to Six Flags. I had to kind of suffer through taking them into a town to shop and have lunch and whatever. And it was really, really embarrassing. And later on in the next year, I asked for their forgiveness and apologized for that because that was embarrassing. So that whole 2023, we're building our house, lots of stressors, whatever, and probably drinking a lot more than normal. And then towards the end of the year, for my dad's surprise 70th birthday, we flew my brother out to surprise him. And we already lost a day with my brother because there was something wrong with the airplane door. And he was supposed to be there on Wednesday at 9 a.m. and he didn't get in until Thursday at noon. And that already stunk, right? And so coincidentally, Saturday night, we had gotten invited to a local rodeo, not a big one like the San Antonio Stock Rodeo, but it was like a meat market, okay? And we were like already kind of day drinking anyways, but I go there and I'm comparing myself to 20-some-year-olds, right? Like I'm just getting in my head and being ridiculous. And I, some reason, switched to high octane IPAs. I have no idea why. And I had one of the worst hangovers I've ever had. I threw up. I had the worst body temperature. I lost a whole day with my family. And that was embarrassing and devastating. And even David texted me that morning that, here I'm in the room by myself, like feeling miserable. Parents go to church. I missed out on my dad leading Bible study and things like that. And he's like, this is not good. This is not you. We got to make a change. We've got to do something different because I don't like seeing you in this state, right? Again, dogs, I'm sorry. They've been in the crates all day. And so like this is, like I said, this is real. There's no editing here. So those two instances were this moment of me to reflect on 2023 and decide what is the common denominator here? How come I'm getting my clients results and I can't get myself results? How can I be a health coach and still have this setback? Because the one reoccurring thing in my life that continues to hold me back professionally, relationally, and physically, and even spiritually is alcohol. It was just clear as day. Okay. So those last 2 months of the year, because that was in October for my dad's birthday, I start researching, reading all the books, listening to all the podcasts, doing all the research around alcohol. And I mentally prepare myself to go a whole year without alcohol, go sober. And to just give myself a year to experience celebrations, uh, events, traveling, anything, because everything I did had alcohol in it. It was alcohol at some point, right? And it was the most daunting and scary like goal I'd ever put for myself. And I made that decision on January 2nd, 2024. I'm going sober. This wasn't just a 30-day dry January. This wasn't just a 90-day reset. This was literally committing to the whole year. And I committed to the whole year, not thinking I was going to give it up forever. It was literally just, Amy, just get through a year. And what I also did is every single morning got up and did devotions in my Bible. And I also created a morning routine. And one of those carrots that I kept kind of dangling in front of myself was in order for me to get up early, I have to go to bed at a decent time. And I can't be drinking alcohol because I don't want to waste my time with a hangover. And so that morning routine and that choice of sobriety is what helped me kind of reset my life. And at the same time, in a sense, reset the business. I invested in business coaches that have really kind of helped me start to bring it around, bring it full circle and actually get some progress in my business. And in that transition, that was the year I was also laid off. I've never been laid off before, but it was a startup company, lots of challenges. And so I had like 6 weeks. It was kind of a blessing to, in a sense, reset for my business too, and just my line of thinking, what do I want to do? Started a new day job. And then before I know it, like you blink and a year is gone, right? So it's kind of like the first 90 days were probably the most challenging. I would say those were my first events. It was the Super Bowl, it was my birthday, and it was the rodeo. Like those places I always would have alcohol. And it was kind of like once I got past that 90-day time frame, it got easier and easier. And I should do maybe a separate talk on that because really, if you've been sober curious, like there is no better time to go sober than now. I mean, you've got so many different drinks out there that are natural, adaptogens, mushrooms, whatever. You don't have to switch those kinds of things, but the non-alcoholic movement, the sober movement is huge. And there is like never been a better time to experiment with this. And I'd be happy to give suggestions or tips, or if you have questions, just let me know. But I made that commitment. I got through the year. And as I reflected back on the year, I was like, wait a second, I was 205 pounds, about almost 204.5 pounds at the beginning of 2024. At the end of 2024, or maybe just a little bit past that, I was down to about 186 pounds. And I was like, wait a second, I've dropped like 20 pounds and I've kept it off. So what are those reoccurring things? What's the common denominator there? Of course, I'm going to contribute it to alcohol. I lost 5 pounds in the first week, which was probably inflammation and water weight. But the reality is that my morning routine, focusing on protein and fiber, focusing on strength training and walking, not putting any pressure on myself to lose weight. Of course, if you lose weight, you are in somewhat of a deficit. So I obviously created a deficit throughout the year in some points, but I wasn't trying to lose weight. It was literally, I'm trying to get better at my routines and my habits and my systems. And the most important part of this is it naturally fell off and I've been able to keep it off. And that's exactly what I did. I went sober. I created a morning routine. I consistently resistance trained. I would say all of this stuff, by the way, like resistance training and walking and food was probably 85% consistent over the year. So think about that. There was probably weeks or months or here and there that were not perfect. I wasn't doing everything, right? Especially when we moved, like that was stressful 2 months of getting settled into the house. So that's what I did. Honestly, if I could have a perfect situation with most clients, if they've been chronic dieters or they've really struggled, if I could have them for a year before we do a fat loss phase, it would be a game changer. But I know that's not always realistic. But I'm just throwing it out there for anyone who's interested. Because I just want, like, maybe there is that girl who can be patient like me, because that's what I did. I did a mental reset. I did a spiritual reset. I just nourished my body, focused on my routines and my systems, and I practice what I preach. This is what I help clients do. I find a routine and method that's going to work for your schedule. And that's what we focus on. And so just to wrap this up here, like literally, there is no major secret here. I lost weight because I took control of my health and I got sober. Drinking was having me overeat and waste time, and I removed that from my life. And now at this point, I'm almost like 440 days sober at this point, and I don't think I'm ever going back. Like it's just, I don't see it fitting back into my life anymore. Are there moments where I'm tempted? Are there moments where I maybe miss it? Yes, sure. But ultimately, taking care of me, focusing on my day to day, focusing on the protein and fiber, the resistance training, the walking, all of these systems, like truly, that will produce results. And even if you're not trying to lose weight, more than likely you will lose weight, because those are the things that you need to do on a regular basis consistently in order to lose weight. Yes, we need to create a calorie deficit, but a lot of the times your lifestyle behaviors are going to help you lean out as well. It's not just strictly just a calorie deficit. It's what are you doing? And I also like that I looked over a 12-month period as opposed to a 3-month period, right? Because that kind of gave me way more wiggle room to, again, I was probably 85% consistent throughout the year. So it's been a game-changing year for me. I feel like in 2025, I've been so hopeful and so excited. And that's when I created the Bloom program by WIPTX, which is focused specifically for women over 40 who are potentially entering into that perimenopause phase. That also throws another dynamic into the game here, but hits us all a little bit differently. And here that's what I'm trying to do, like help you with your systems, help you with your routines, help you get to your dream result, which is usually most of the time losing the weight and keeping it off. That is the trick. All of us can lose weight 10 million times. It's another story when we actually are able to keep it off. So I don't want to, ramble on too long necessarily, especially with no editing special effects or whatever, besides me having ADD with my dogs. But I wanted to film this imperfectly and get it out there and just say, this is me, I'm back. And what I'm going to be doing now is I'm entering into a calorie deficit. And for the first time in over 14 months, I've already got 1 week under my belt and I have got some good intel for you. So now over the next like 12 to 16 weeks, I will be documenting this journey of a calorie deficit after taking a year plus to take care of myself, get sober, and create new habits. So I hope this is of some value to you. If you have any questions, anything follow up, just let me know. But again, on Instagram, it's bloom.in.perimenopause. Follow me and let's connect. And I thank you so much for watching. So have a wonderful day, evening, or whatever time you're watching this. So thanks.